turning inward to plan. So why is this an important part of the process, and what does it entail?
I think so. I think the idea of the planning is to say, to what end, right? We know $1 million, as we've said, is a drop in the ocean compared to what these movements and young people deserve. And yet we know that moving money to young people is difficult. It's not direct and easy. We know that the ways that young people are disenfranchised limit their access to money. So the ways that they're disenfranchised around having identification, being able to get bank accounts, being able to register groups and organizations, the threat that powers that be perceive in young people, that even their gathering creates danger around them. And because of their age and their youth, our justifiable concerns about their well-being to come into play. And so we know that funding young people is not just saying we're going to fund young people. And if we take the systems that we currently have and attempt to use it to fund young people, we'll find ourselves failing in many ways because the systems are not designed for that. And so funding young people and funding youth movements requires a plan. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that I would love to see one institution, all of their resources being funded by young people in the ways that young people set forth. But we know that for most institutions, funding young people is part of a broader strategy to meet their overall strategic goals. But that part of your work requires different levels of planning. It's everything from your administration to your operations to your finance to your programmatic work has to be geared towards funding young people in order for that to do that effectively. And we know that that is not intuitive, and we know that it's not easy. And so what we can do is what's possible is to help you think through incrementally what that means. Mm-hmm. Not every organization is going to be CRIF. So we're not expecting that all institutions will develop an extremely radical participatory process, but we know that there are elements of that process that can work for your institution, and how you either make the case for that or institute those changes can make the difference in how effective they ultimately are. And so we want to set folks up that when they're done with what's possible, and we've moved out of this particular piece of work, that they have real tangible tools that they can use to embed in their institution, or to make the case in their institution for why they should embed these into their institution. And so that's why the planning, none of this works without the planning part.